When he came over, oh my God, okay, he's finishing the war and whatever. But after this, at least we got some hope. Like, okay, Vladimir Putin agreed, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is going on. Like,
What do you think about recent developments in Ukraine itself? War is kind of reaching a standstill where it goes back and forth, where there's lots of developments, but there's no major progress on either side. Do you think there's any hope for that resolving soon in a reasonable manner for Ukraine?
the election of Trump, Trump actually gave us hope. I'll finish war in one day. So I really got, oh my God, it's really nice. If Trump can do this, really. So
I did not believe this.
I was excited. I didn't even believe it, but I thought, okay, this man maybe he has a good ties with Vladimir Putin.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe he can do something in this.
We're taking the lead, but we don't have the money and we don't have the willpower in this country for a war that doesn't involve us.
Welcome to Global Watch, Ryan. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah. So what do you think about North Korea's involvement in Russian wars, and they have already sent the troops to help to assist the Russian war?
Well, honestly, it's not too surprising to see North Korea want to get real-world military experience. They've always been showing about how strong they are as a nation, but we've never seen them really use it. And frankly, they have outdated technology and tactics. Being that extra support for Russia when the Kursk region is a specific intensive region at the moment, it's no surprise that they would send a couple thousand, I think between 10 and 15,000 troops, really get that experience, expand on modern tactics in regards to drones, and also increase economic and trade stability with Russia, which is their closest ally. And only ally, really.
So there's a surprising things like I think Russia is militarily one of the strongest country in the world. After the they're hiring some troops from North Korea, like some from Asian countries, and it's really surprising to me. What do you think regarding this?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely surprising. It shows a bit of weakness on Russia's side that they need help from a nation such as North Korea, which is why it's so shocking. I wouldn't say it's entirely unexpected. It's North Korea, you know, they're so famous for shouting and sending off missiles and big military parades. There was going to be a conflict. At some point, they would want to get first-hand experience on.
So I think Russia, in this case, is not getting a response from many of his closest friends, like India, like China, because if they involve directly, they will get a lot of economical, problems instead of the world, and they will lose their business.
Yeah, China and India especially, which nowadays have very close ties with Europe and the UK, Australia, even Japan and Africa. Pretty much most places in the world do trade with China and India. They're sitting at rather neutral stances despite Russia being a close friend, because no one wants to take economic risk.
And I think North Korea doesn't care.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, doesn't care.
It doesn't really affect them. They already don't have that strong of an economic presence.
So in exchange of it, I think Vladimir Putin will give some financial assistance to North Korea, like will have in some stands maybe.
I mean, yeah, we have been seeing that with North Korea. I don't know if you've noticed, but they have a lot more technology there these days. And North Korea just built 10,000 homes in their capital city because of Russia giving them money. It looks surprisingly modern for North Korea, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
But that's what they are getting out of it. They are propelling themselves from the 1950s to maybe the 70s.
But in this case, I think as North Korea is financially very weaker country, one is not helping like directly. Most of them country don't agree to help them directly or whatever. So for so many problems there. So people. So I think Russia has been so boycotted almost many countries, like European countries, many countries, even they're not getting help from their allies like India, China. They're connected with all of different countries. They have strong allies, especially India and China. As far as they can to help directly, you understand? So
yeah, even countries like Belarus, which at the start of the war was pretty helpful to Russia, or Kazakhstan and Mongolia are steering out of it relatively. I mean, Mongolia did host Putin, but they're wedged between China and Russia. They can't really say anything. Kazakhstan's making trade deals with the EU despite Russia being their best friend. No one wants to be involved in the war with Russia, so who else is going to do it other than North Korea?
Already I've noticed that India have faced a lot of problems because of being neutral in Russia-Ukraine war. From European side, they got a lot of problems.
Unlike a lot of places in the world, the European Union and the UK ties our politics with our economic policies. A lot of European countries, if they don't agree with what you are acting, if your country is not acting a certain way, they just won't do business with you. They're fine with doing that. Europe has enough money to not worry about other places. They can just cut someone off, other than like China or notably the USA, but these big powers. But if they don't like someone,
one thing is surprising always regarding China, I always notice like they always support hiddenly, but they don't they're not involving in a war like USA and like some European countries, like they're not involving in a direct war. So it's really surprising to me what they plan actually regarding Russia.
China, it prioritizes money. Okay, there's a reason they've never been in a war, or they've never openly and hostilely taken over their modern neighbors. It's always through economic pressure and diplomacy. They like their money. China is very trade-driven, trade-focused, and if they take a strong stance on this, they lose two of their key markets, South America and the European Union. And you see Chinese media reports from both sides, and they give money on both sides, and they say, we're going to rebuild both sides. They're doing the good old-fashioned, we'll profit off both and see who wins.
Yeah, and in India's side, I've noticed already they're saying we're neutral. Actually, we're trying to help. We're trying to isolate the world. I don't know what India's stance there.
I feel like India has a lot of pressure to condemn it, with the UK being one of its closest trade allies, but being a member of BRICS, it can't. So it sits on that fence. ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Thailand loves its trade with the UK, loves its trade with Singapore and the US, but allows Russians into its country because ASEAN has close ties with Russia and Thailand's a BRICS contender. So they're always going to sit on that fence going, we'll just see. Less so more on the global reaction. What do you think about recent developments in Ukraine itself? War is kind of reaching a standstill where it goes back and forth, where there's lots of developments, but there's no major progress on either side. Do you think there's any hope for that resolving soon in a reasonable manner for Ukraine?
Let's start with Trump. When before the election of Trump, Trump actually gave us hope. I'll finish war in one day. So I really got, oh my God, it's really nice. If Trump can do this, really. So
I did not believe this.
I was excited. I didn't even believe even. I thought, okay, this man maybe he has a good ties with Vladimir Putin. So maybe he can do something in this regard. But when he came, oh my God, okay, he's finishing the war in whatever. But after this, at least we got some hope. Like, okay, Vladimir Putin agreed, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is going on actually.
So then the events in the White House happened with Zelensky. Why aren't you wearing a suit?
And after this, what happened? Like the Trump wanted to stop the war with Russia, and he said he will stop the war, and then he actually lost a lot of allies, and he kicked out a lot of allies.
Yeah, we famously had our first ever Western summit without the US, with Japan there and Ukraine and everyone, but the US was not invited.
Just if you notice, like USA had problems with Canada, the neighboring country, that one of the closest ally of same continent,
threatening to turn them into their 51st state,
and actually they're threatening using each other. So it's very surprising to me. So what is this going on in this world? And UK Stammer, and when Stammer went to the White House, so Stammer was talking something like this, like I think you have seen the interview. So he was saying something, oh, you got very good accent.
Yeah, it's like,
he's making fun with Stammer. What happened? Like when the Stammer went to first visit to White House, Trump actually praising the Britain, the UK, the great prosperous country, prosperity, whatever. So Keir Stammer added something. So he added, yeah, we are prosperous, we are getting blah, 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 we are developing, or not developing, we are progressing, whatever, blah, blah. Say so many things he said. And then Trump asked, can you please take over Russia alone?
yeah,
it's just so funny. He was making fun with UK.
The US doesn't respect the UK, and it doesn't respect anyone. And even you can see it with how they're treating Ukraine with these mineral deals. Oh, post-war, we'll just have all your lithium and your titanium.
It's creating a bad impact all over the world, not only European countries, because if these allies, the USA, European Union, UK, these allies somehow break down, so the whole world order will be changed dramatically. You can imagine. And I think in this case, the China, Russia, India, and some of the countries like BRICS, they will have a lot of influence in the world order, might be.
Yeah, 100% as we going into this post, clearly nearing the end of the war, but we're seeing these tariffs arise, and BRICS is gaining a lot of influence. There's a lot of countries that are wanting to join BRICS. There are a lot of de-dollarization movements, and it feels like the power on the planet shifting.
I noticed another thing, like after when US not actively playing its role and in the side of Ukraine, after this actually UK took the lead in this case, I think. So it's really surprising. And
I mean, yeah, but that movement of taking the lead puts our country at risk. So we saw it with the Storm missiles. We almost had a missile crisis, and the UK doesn't have the troops that actually want to go there. We're taking the lead, but we don't have the money and we don't have the willpower in this country for a war that doesn't involve us. I don't want to say it, but he does have a point when it comes to America's the one mostly funding that situation. I don't want to say he's right about anything.
so he looks like he left all the players in the middle of the field.
He's abandoned the situation, that didn't need to exist. It didn't need to exist.
So let's see what happens next. So thank you very much for being Global Watch. Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.